Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Rossi. Today we're going to create a drawing using complementary colors. What you'll be needing today is a white piece of paper. There should be one in your folder labeled food, and you can use that, or you can use any other white paper you have at home. You're going to need a pencil and an eraser, something to trace your drawing with, and you can use whatever material you would like today to color. I have some crayons and watercolors with me today because I want to do a watercolor and crayon resist, but you can use whatever you would like to color in your picture. Today we're going to create a picture that shows the complementary colors. Now we know the complementary colors are colors opposite each other on the color wheel, like red and green, blue and orange, and yellow and purple. So you can draw whatever you would like, as long as it is only showing one pair of complementary colors. So we've already practiced this with our dog project and our cat project, but this time you can draw whatever you would like. So you want to think of something that is mostly one color or is one color. Now we did our scavenger hunt last week to find things in our house that are these colors, so you can think about some of those items if you would like. Just try and focus on one thing that is a specific color, and then we're going to design the background to show the complement of that color. I think it's easy if you do something like food, because certain fruits and vegetables and things like that are already almost all one color. So those are pretty easy to do as complementary colored pairs for our picture. I think I'm going to do an avocado, and that will be nice and big and green, and then I'm going to have a bright red background. So you don't have to draw what I'm drawing. You're going to want to make your own picture that is showing one pair of complementary colors. So I think I'm going to do an avocado that is sliced in half so we could see the inside, and I'm going to draw one half so it is standing tall and the other half so it is lying down, just to make it a little bit more interesting. So you can think how you can draw your objects on your paper. If you want to draw more than one, if you want to make a pattern using your object, that would be pretty cool. It's up to you. So now I have two kind of shapes of my avocado. I am going to draw a circle in the center. You want to make your drawing as detailed as possible, so I'm going to draw a little outline section so I can separate a dark green and a light green portion of my avocado and of the skin that is on the outside. Now that I have my image sketched out, I can design the background however I would like. You can decide how you want your background to look. I am going to add a table. Maybe you need to draw a scene in the background, like a landscape or something else to show where your object is. You can do that. I'm going to do some vertical stripes going up and down on the bottom, and I'm going to do some horizontal stripes going from left to right on the top. Okay, now that I'm done drawing with my pencil, I'm going to grab my Sharpie and I am going to trace over my drawing. So I'm going to trace over my object that I started with, and I'm going to trace over my design in the background. Now today I'm going to do a crayon and watercolor resist. So I am going to color in my avocados with my crayons, and I am going to do the background with my watercolor. Now when you use crayon and watercolor together, the crayon prevents the watercolor from going in that space. It resists it, it stops it from going into that section of our drawing. So I am going to use crayon inside for my avocados, and I'm going to use watercolors in the background, and that's going to prevent my red and green from mixing. But you can choose whatever kind of material you think is going to work best for your picture. I'm going to leave it like that, and I'll trace that inside line with my crayons. Once you're done tracing, you can grab your eraser and just carefully erase any pencil lines that you can still see. I'm going to be really careful around that spot where I just used the crayon to trace, because my eraser can smudge that. And now I'm just going to use my crayons to color in my avocados. When I'm coloring with my crayons, I want my color to be nice and dark, and I want to fill in all of the white space. Again, the crayon is going to prevent the watercolor from going into that space, So if I color too lightly or if I leave a lot of white space, then the watercolor is going to get into all of that space where my crayon isn't. So I want to make sure anywhere that I don't want the watercolor to go, I have plenty of color from my crayon. Now that I finished coloring in my picture with my crayons, I can start to do the watercolor background. Now again, you can see I colored in nice and dark. I didn't leave any white spaces, so now when I go to paint my background, my crayon is going to resist my watercolor and those colors aren't going to mix together. And it's okay when you're drawing your picture if you need to use other colors that are outside of your complementary color pair for smaller details. So for like the pit of my avocado, I needed to use brown instead of just using only greens. And that is totally fine if you want to fill in little details, as long as the majority of your picture or most of your drawing is one color that is the complement of your background. Now I'm going to go in and paint my background. I'm going to use these two reddish colors. I have like a reddish orange and like a reddish pink, and I'm going to alternate those to make my stripes with my watercolor paints. Like always, when we're using watercolor paints, you need to wet your brush first, wipe it off on the edge so that you're not dripping water all over the table, and swirl it around gently in your palette. So as I'm painting with my watercolors, my stripes are going to mix together with each other, but they are not going to cover up or go over my avocado. I made sure to wash my paintbrush with my water before going into my next color, and I am just going to alternate these stripes, going very carefully back and forth on both sections of my picture to fill it in. And that is my complementary colored choice picture all finished. Once you're done with your project, you can take a photo or a video of it and upload it on my Canvas page. I can't wait to see all the different things you guys decided to draw with our complementary colors today. Try your best, have fun, and get creative. I'll see you soon. Bye!